Hey, clinical folks. So I just have a couple comments about APA style after reading through your 3 therapies. In general, there's a great variety, but some common things came up. In particular, make sure you're using scholarly sources. So journal articles, book chapters, things along those lines. Another is make sure that you're reviewing APA style for citations. That's a big thing. I pulled up this PowerPoint. This PowerPoint is on Blackboard under APA style. I'll catch a couple highlights for you all. The third is make sure you're really fleshing out ideas here. Talk about the therapy, talk about its history, talk about how it works for someone with this particular disorder. And then talk more specifically about how it would work for your person. So remember, these are good references. Also, there's a separate reference on Blackboard that I also emailed to you last week that shows you how to access the entire style guide for free during the COVID crisis. So find it, use it, okay? I'm skipping forward through the language. Generally, people are doing this well. Okay, so here are some things. Subheadings. A couple of you have asked me about subheadings. I highly recommend them. I think most of you use them for this section. They just help me organize my thoughts, and then they also help me when I'm grading you all. So yes, I would recommend subheads, and if you need help sort of figuring out how those work, there's review for that, or I'm glad to work with you. Keep your use of quotes to a minimum. You really want to put things in your own words and paraphrase instead. So here is, let me drag myself out of your way there. Here is the information about subheads and how you would use them sequentially. So for example, if you wanted to have a subhead that said, 3 therapies, we'll use that. Then you would use this, and then each subsequent therapy would have a heading like this. Okay. That walks you through that. Okay, in-text citations, a lot of you are getting hung up on this. So you want to always have the author and the year. So author, comma, year, if there's only one author. If there's not a year, for some reason, you would use ND. If there are 2 authors, you would use both of their names every time you cite, okay? And you're not writing out their full names, even if you're referring to them in the text. So for example, here, Myers and Crowther said, not Dr. Taryn Myers and Dr. Janice Crowther in their paper, blah, 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 said. It's just Myers and Crowther said. Easy. 3 or more authors, you always do at all. The only exception is if you're using 2 articles by the same person published the same year, then you would write them out. None of you that I've looked at are doing that, so you're good. So you're, again, using this at all. And then here's how, if you are going to use something with an abbreviation, that you do it. If you are going to quote, and again, I don't recommend it, but if you are, you need to quote something very small, then here is how you do it. Okay. So the page number would go at the end of the sentence, author names would go at the beginning, like that. Reference list, I haven't been looking at these too much for you all yet, so I'm not gonna be able to tell you what problems you're having or not. But again, just remember that we have references here in terms of how you can do these things, okay? I do have online sources here, but really, you should only really be using those for your case study. You should be using books and journal articles for the rest of your paper. Remember, we had that whole session with Stephen Leist about how to find journal articles, how to find books. I know books are harder right now, but a lot of them are available in ebooks that you can actually check out through the Virginia Wesleyan Library. So go back to your notes from that day with Leist and look everything over. Alrighty, so that is just my brief update for you all. Again, very consistent things that I saw. So please reach out to me with any questions. Remember, you do need to do a meeting with me at some point the second half of the semester. So now might be a great time to do that. Use my Calendly link and go ahead and schedule a Google Hangouts meeting with me. And I will look forward to talking to you all soon.